DogWorks Radio is sponsored by Alaska Dogworks. Check out their website at alaskadogworks.com.
Start your day tomorrow with The Daily Dog with Michelle Forto, the morning podcast on DogWorks Radio. Apple Podcast reviewer Patty Christensen calls it funny, smart, and filled with all the info I want to know about dogs. I love this show. Wake up with The Daily Dog. Available on DogWorks Radio on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your shows.
Hello and welcome, everybody. This is Robert Forto from Mushing Radio. Earlier this winter, I had the pleasure of teaching a group of students from the University of Alaska Anchorage in a course that I developed called the Winter Multi-Sport Expedition. We spent a week out on the trail teaching the students how to run sled dogs, fat bikes, and snow machines. Here is a story from Nolan Maxwell on his experiences from the trail. Here we go.
Radio Free Palmer 89.5 KVRF presents Mushing Radio, hosted by Robert Forto. Mushing Radio is about dog-powered sports, living in the Great White North, and mushing. Visit our website at mushingradio.com. Here is your host, Robert Forto.
My name is Nolan Maxwell. I am 20 years old, and I am an exchange student from the University of Minnesota Twin Cities in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And right now, my major is undeclared.
What were your expectations when you signed up for this course?
Well, I signed up for this course back home sitting on my chair in Winona, Minnesota. I found out that the winter camping course that I signed up for was canceled, and I wanted to find another FIAD class to substitute for that. And after looking through a lot of them, I found the Winter Multisport Expedition, and from what I read about it, it seemed really interesting. And lo and behold, it was a lot more than I thought it was going to be. But it definitely exceeded any expectations that I had.
So, what did you learn, Nolan, about yourself on the trip?
I learned that I'm pretty tough and that when I put my mind on something, I can do it, because it was not easy going out and doing all that for as long as I did. Dog mushing wasn't that bad. I fell for the first time on the trip, and I learned that that's not that bad. You can just get back up right away. And biking, that was pretty difficult, but you just got to push through, and that's something that I definitely learned that I can do.
Okay. What did you learn about the dogs?
The dogs, they have their own personalities. I sort of knew that was true, but actually being out with them, you definitely see how they're all different, and they're hard to handle. I have Chihuahuas back home, so it's a big difference, but they love what they do. They're very loving, they're sweet, and I just love getting to know each and every one of them that were on the trip.
So do you have a favorite dog or two, and why?
My favorite is Shock. Shock has been my favorite ever since the first boot camp. She was the first one that was really friendly to me. She was the first one that I had a connection with right away. And ever since, I always love seeing her. Every time I go up to her, she jumps up on me and I pet her, and she's just really friendly.
Tell us one of your favorite memories from the course or the trip.
I think my favorite was probably being out at Red Shirt, because there wasn't electricity, running water. I didn't have service, so I couldn't get on the internet. And it was just really fun being out on an island in the middle of a lake with everyone, just being separated from everything else. And it was quite the experience to just be out there, just with the people around you. It was just incredible.
And do you have a story from your time on the trail that you'd like to share?
That's a good one. Specific story. I'd have to say probably biking with Jenny, because we just got along so well out there. We stopped a couple times, just talked, and we had a lot of bonding. And we always pushed through. We got to see some bikers along the way. We saw people on snowmobiles. And it was really nice sharing it with one person, going out there, because that's a really good way to bond with someone, being the only two people and having to rely on each other.
So you said you're an exchange student from Minnesota. You're up here for a semester, and you had mentioned signing up for this course while just waiting to come up here, sitting on your couch or whatever.
Yeah.
When you came into the classroom, obviously you didn't know anybody in the class.
Nope.
And one of your main things that you said is you wanted a purely Alaskan experience. So can you tell us about that, and maybe tell us a little bit why you picked coming to Alaska versus other places, and did that fulfill your goals for this semester?
Well, I knew I wanted to participate in the National Student Exchange, and I was deciding which places I wanted to go, and Alaska was one of the ones that I listed out. And after thinking about it, I settled in Alaska because it's far out there, it's a really cool place to say you've been, and I'm from Minnesota, so the winters aren't that bad. I'm used to it, and I definitely think that I've gotten a lot out of it. Especially with this trip, this is something that I never would have been able to do had I not come to Alaska, let alone signed up for this course. So I definitely think I got more out of what I signed up for.
And lastly, Nolan, would you recommend this course to a friend, and why?
I definitely would. I would recommend it, but I'd warn them, it's a lot of work. You really gotta devote yourself to this. You can't just sign up for it and think it's gonna be easy. But it's definitely worth it. I enjoyed more or less every minute of it, but it's definitely an experience of a lifetime. It's something that you're not able to do otherwise. And doing it in a classroom setting is probably one of the best ways to do it, because you're learning. And everyone here is so lenient to some extent because they want you to succeed and do your best.
Excellent. Thank you, Nolan. That was Nolan Maxwell. He was a participant this year on our Winter Multi-Sport Expedition course. I hope you enjoyed the interview. We'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Did you know that Alaska Dog Works trains service dogs for those in need throughout North America? Each and every service dog that is trained through the Lead Dog Service Dog Program and Michelle Forto and her team has an individual training plan. We train for autistic, mobility, psychiatric, and PTSD for our soldiers for service work. If you know of someone that may need a service dog, please take a moment and check out Alaska Dog Works on social media and at alaskadogworks.com.
Hi, this is Alex Stein, co-host of Mushing Radio on DogWorks Radio. We just completed our first storytelling season on the 1925 Serum Run. Almost 100 years later, the 1925 Serum Run is something that is still inspirational, amazing, and in many ways larger than life. We've gathered all of these episodes together on one page to make it easier for you to listen to them in order. Just go to dogworksradio.com/serumrun. That's SERUMRUN, no space, dogworksradio.com/serumrun. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to Dogworks Radio at Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or wherever it is that you go to listen to podcasts.
If you like our podcast, there are a few things you can do. You can take a couple of minutes and go to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. You can also check out all of our DogWorks Radio sponsors and promotions in our show notes. Another thing you can do is go over to Facebook, like our Facebook page, and one last thing, please tell all of your friends by spreading the word about DogWorks Radio. Thank you so much for listening to us. We really appreciate you.
Dogworks Radio is produced by Robert Forto. Logo art by Angry Squirrel Studios. Dogworks Radio is produced in conjunction with KVRF 89.7 in Palmer, Alaska.
For dog training advice, you can contact Alaska Dog Works at 907-841-1686 or visit their website at alaskadogworks.com. If you have a show idea or would like to be a guest, please contact us by sending an email to live@dogworksradio.com.